Hey guys, welcome back. Hope you had a good day in the market and a good weekend. It's Monday, August 25th. We're going to review 0-day options today. I took on SPY, long options, and some price action. Glad to be here. Glad that you're here. Mondays are kind of becoming my new old Fridays, it seems like. They've been pretty trappy, and I've not done too well on them. Today's no exception. It is another red day. Not too bad. Kept it somewhat small. IV's back down, which is nice. But price action, it was pretty tough, pretty tricky. On the 30-minute on Eric's SPY day trading on YouTube's chart, after Friday's big move, I caught a nice little move end of day with puts, and yeah, nearly doubled the account actually, small account. So have a little more breathing room for this week. Today we got down, but just basically building liquidity up here, and all day didn't really go anywhere. Filled the gap, and then we just end up grinding down in this channel here, and then final 3 minutes is literally where pretty much all that came from. So not the most desirable day for trading. There was a move this morning that I saw that I didn't take, and it's like, oh, it's on these days where it's like I should just take everything I see and not think that's not enough reward. I'm waiting for a bigger move. I'd rather use up my buying power and just have a nice green trade. There was news this morning at 10, or data rather, and I put it in my alarm, but by the time this trade came I kind of forgot about it. But anyways, this morning I had white charted here as a aggressive selling, purple as aggressive buying, and then this red as bullish controlled selling. I got the red from here and then flipping to support there. So the resistance here, and then support there. Wasn't too sure on it. I was just looking for wedges. So that was the only thing I really saw that looked like it broke out and then it retested. And that's why I got that one in there. I don't know how that lines up with Eric's or Emperor's. I didn't really look at theirs today till the end of the day. And then I got gold here too with these supports, and green came in I think later. Yeah, a lot of very flat algos, a lot of tapering back and forth, a lot of bulls and bears controlling the price action and just kind of dancing around. Basically it's balanced. They're happy, they're content, it's equilibrium. The one trade that I saw this morning that I didn't take, which was this one right here. I was going to get calls on a break of this magenta. I was kind of hoping it would come down and retest here, so I'd have a nice clear stop on gold for calls. Even though it's very flat, it's at least something. If I get it here and then it starts grinding down here, I'm like, eh. And that helps if you have other channels. I guess I could have put this one in there. That could have been my stop. Yeah, and I think maybe I did. I deleted it since then. I'm not sure. But yeah, this one probably, because if I maybe wouldn't have, I don't know if I would have held it. So basically this was the news candle, and it started by ripping up. So right, it opened here, rallied up. So this would have been anywhere up here would have been a nice sell. That would have been, I don't know, 30-40%. And I would have sold on that because high a day would have been my probably take profit, or this green. Yeah, actually I did have that green chart at that point. I already did. Based on those resistances, perhaps. Yeah, I think so. So it would have been here, or it would have been somewhere up here. So should have taken that one, but after that there like wasn't a whole lot. I got whipsawed a bit because it was breaking, and then it would kind of go back in, and then I'm like, there must be a wider channel and wider wedges I'm not seeing. So then I just started glancing at Emperor's to see what he thought and what was going on. Because right here, so we had gold climbing up. It did break it here. And here's my steep white one again. Did break it. I think this is one of the spots I got trapped in. Then it rallied back up. Then it broke it again. Then it found it as resistance. But then that climbed up and broke magenta or red. So my charting was a little, not sure. And then I got this white one going, but that was after it already done this stuff, I think. So, oh no, yeah, it was from these supports maybe. Where is this from actually? Maybe it's from those resistances. Yeah. I don't even know if this one's accurate. It might have been, yeah. So just kind of a low volume wedgy day, I would say. What's happening here? Let's review the trades. So yeah, I'm just using E-Trade here. It's on a cash account. Yeah, it kind of sucks. If they change that PDT, actually, I'll probably flip to margin, just so I can do spreads and sell premium, which would be nice. I'm mentally, like, I just cope and align much better with selling options than buying and trying to time, being so aggressive with timing. Selling, you don't have as much upside, but it's to me, it's not as stressful because it's basically always working in your favor. I mean, not necessarily if it's going against you, but you're selling time, and the chart, no matter what, is going to go to the right. So it's going in your favor all the time for that. And if say you opened a put here, a short put right here, and that does this and this and this, that thing's not hardly going to move at all. It's basically going to stay the same. But if you open a call here, long call, it would be very, very swingy. And then through all of here, like this dip right here, it's easier to manage. Anyways, yeah, trades today. Let's see. So there are the trades, down 32. Whamp whamp. We're out of buying power, which is good on a day like today. There just wasn't hardly any moves. The only move literally was in the last like 3 minutes. And on the big account, I had a position. It was too far out of the money. I was trying to keep it small value size, so I ended up getting too far out of the money, and I just closed it, and then it finally did it, which was fine. I went 300%, but I just couldn't manage it. I didn't like it, so I ended up just dumping that thing. First one on the small account was puts at 1013. Yeah, so this was the first of the whipsaw. So breaking gold, it was on this candle. It was like down here, it came up a little bit. I'm like, man, I don't like the entry on breakouts, but I did take it. Yeah, and then it ended up closing like that. I'm like, well, it's still below gold, but that's not a nice close. So open that one for 56 cents, closed it for 45 on the next minute. So closed it as this one was coming up in here next minute, and reevaluated my choices and what was going on. 10:30, so pretty soon after. That's not great. 10:30 I was back into a put for 43 cents. So this one, yeah, I was grinding up gold as resistance, and then it started rejecting red as resistance, and I got in on not the best entry because I was going to have red as my stop out. This would have been a nice entry, but then it ended up breaking red anyways. So maybe this red one wasn't right. That was 10:30 to 10:35, 43 cents to 37, 10:30, 10:35. Yeah, right here. Right on that red candle. Closed it on this green candle. Did end up cutting down, but it's just still in a big wedge that I'm not charting properly. Green I ended up putting in later, which I think was correct with those resistances. It did kind of respect that. The top side, maybe it's this white one. I don't know. Maybe, perhaps. Next trade was at 120, 26 cents to 23 cents. So smaller loss, but further out of the money, smaller dollar value. 120 to 130. Held that one for 10 minutes. Okay, so, I saw us head and shoulders up here. So from lessons from last week or 2 weeks ago, instead of trying to, of course, catch ahead, wait for the first tapering channel to break. So to me, it was this green. I ended up putting this blue one in then, but it was green before that. And so it kind of, instead of trying to catch this as a head or this as a head, at this point to me it made a cup, and that was kind of making a handle. But yeah, there was no retracement. There was no mutual interest trade. That was a little one, but they wanted more liquidity either way. So I was expecting some sort of move down. Made a nice head there, which retested that blue nicely. almost retested the green. So then I'm like, okay, I could take it, but I should wait for break of green. And I don't actually quite know why I didn't take the break of green here. I think this one actually just happened really fast, and I just wasn't prepared maybe. Let me see, when was that trade? 120. Yeah, I'm not sure. But then it came down, and then I'm starting to see that it's finding white as support, which isn't great. That's bullish. So it bounces there. So it's just competing, I think. Algos, bulls and bears, back and forth here quite a bit. No one's really wanting it bad enough to send it. 120, I'm saying, yes. Okay, so that was on this candle. So yeah, then I finally did get in on that resistance. So it's kind of in the middle of nowhere. In a sense, I saw it do all this. So this was on the retest of green and red. And then I got in on this candle with red as my stop out. So unfortunately, actually, this would have been a nice trade. I should have gotten one. So this one was the one at the money. It wasn't the one just in the money. The one just in the money was like 50 something. This one was like 23 or no, yeah, 26. And yeah, if I had a better delta, a little higher delta on this one, I would have closed it and made money. But the delta was just low enough to where it coming down here didn't actually do a whole lot at all. This did end up working out. Let me see. I think I got whipsawed in here. Yeah, this was a whipsaw thing. So 120, I got the put. And I closed out of it at 130 for a small loss. So yeah, on this big candle. Yep. And at that point, I'm like, all right, well, it's showing support on white. This was my thoughts. It's bounced off of this liquidity. It's rejected it. So this very well could be the inverse head right here. Even though we had a complete inverse cup, and this could have been a handle, or this could have been a handle. The volume kicked up, and it did break that red, and so I'm pretty sure I flipped there. Yep, I flipped to a call right then. So flip to call at 130, right there on that candle. It grinded down. Well, it actually broke back into red, and then I closed it. I held this one longer just because, yeah, I had to give it room to breathe because my entry wasn't on a support. It was just on a break. So I closed it here on the break of that green. So whipsaw was on the menu today, and I ordered it in spades. It was just one whipsaw, but that's the problem with trading midday, as well as entering a trade shortly after a red trade. I've thought about, and I've done it at some points, just kind of having like a timer between trades. Like once I've done a trade, especially if it's red, I give myself at least an hour or 2 hours, whatever, before I take a next trade. So that's like a rule like that would prevent that happening. Because jumping back in here, it could have worked and that could have been right, but too much of it was kind of weighing on me not wanting to miss a trade, the FOMO, and not being content with the trade going without me. And probably because until that point, there wasn't really a good trade and the market wasn't setting up nicely. So yeah, anyways, did break green, ended up making a little head and shoulder here, then broke green again. I was out of buying power. I think I got this on the big account. I'm not sure. I didn't trade a whole lot actually the rest of the day, but or maybe actually I just let this one go. Yeah, I think I let that one go on the big account. So then it retested or found blue as support, which is the resistance up here, quite nicely. And to me, I'm like, this looks like an inverse head. So actually, I got calls here on that red candle on the big account, and this was a green trade. Took profit at white and then stopped out the second one somewhere in here just to break even. So little green trade there. Then it kind of keeps grinding down this white. This was a nice looking setup now, and I kind of saw it too late, but broke the gold. The thing is, the selling is so slow. Like, I don't really want to actually own or be long on 0-day puts through here. Because, I mean, let's get a really nice entry, which you could have with these lines. So it broke the gold, and then it perfectly kind of used it as resistance. There's some that wick through there, but all in all, it used it resistance all the way up to the resistance of this white. So getting puts on that candle or any of these just as white as your stop. And I saw that like right about here. I'm like, oh man, that actually perfectly resisted that, and then that would have been a nice stop. I'm not sure I had this white the whole time though. I had this one, but then yeah. Anyways, so that would have been a nice little trade there if I was a little more focused. Yeah, maybe if I was green, I would have been kind of more in the zone and not kind of out of it. Because this trade would have been fine. Oh, nice stop. We're taking profit probably at the bottom right here, bottom of white. Then had maybe a runner for a nice big volatility candle there. And if you had more, could have just kept holding, I guess, till low a day, which would have come at the end of day. But yeah, there's definitely some slow selling here. Another little head and shoulders here. Shoulder, head, shoulder, grabbing it. Can't really get it on the grab though, as you can see, because then you're just building liquidity. And then another little one, shoulder, head, shoulder, grabbing it. And I was in for a couple of these. I was actually in like somewhere. Oh, I was in here for the retest on blue. Yeah, that was pretty lame holding that thing. Retested blue and I'm in like right there and it's just decaying. My options are out of the money. It comes up here. I'm still holding it because I'm like, well, here's my resistance. So I did make a little bit on that, but it wasn't much because I was too far out of the money. And then I ended up closing, I think, all of them by here. Oh yeah, by the 10-minute move. That's right. 10-minute move was right here. So I closed the last one on that 10-minute candle. And then it just kind of chopped down here and then flush. So hard to catch that one without that being after you already have profits on those positions. So we'll see. Complete the inverse cup and then some. Still hasn't caught 5-day down here, but maybe we'll be opening up near there tomorrow. Thanks for watching, guys. Sub up, like up, comment down. Happy money sticks around. Happy Money Monday to you. All right. Peace out.